Hey, so for this video I'm going to show you how to coat a custom skateboard using resin. And what resin does is create a super high gloss, durable finish that almost resembles glass. It looks really cool. There's lots of steps involved, so that's what I'm going to be taking you through today. I do just want to say, if you want to use your skateboard as a cruiser or as wall art, then this is a great method. But if you do want to do tricks on your skateboard, I recommend just using a normal varnish or spray varnish instead, because resin can reduce the flexibility of the board, and if that's something that's important to you, I wouldn't recommend using resin. But this video is about the former. This video is about using resin and making this super shiny. So let's go. So the first thing to do is to tape the underside to catch resin drips. I'm being extra careful here, using a small cloth to rest it on, just to make sure I don't mark the painted surface. Make sure to firmly press and score the tape to ensure it has a strong seal and won't allow resin underneath it. And tape up the holes. I use tin cans and attach them to the board. This keeps it raised and level and allows resin to drip off the skateboard easily. The next step is crucial. If you have used Posca markers like I have, or any other water-based marker, you want to seal it in. I recommend this spray varnish by Winsor & Newton. This isn't sponsored, I just always use it and love it. And I've put a link to where you can buy it in the video description. Because this will sit between the painted layer and the epoxy resin, it's really important that you let it fully dry, because chemical reactions can occur. And just to be on the safe side, I would recommend just waiting 2 full days, so then you can be sure it has fully dried and you won't encounter any problems. Now, pouring resin is as messy as it sounds. I found bin bags are the best thing to protect your surface and to catch those drips. The bonus thing is that you can peel off the dry resin afterwards and reuse them. I also make little masking tape barriers at the end of the table, just in case. Then, grab your measuring jug, your resin, something to mix it with, and gloves. Gloves are vital. You want to pour equal parts resin to hardener. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. So I wanted 6 ounces, so I did 3 ounces of resin and 3 ounces of hardener. And stirred well. Once that's done, you're ready to pour and spread the resin on the surface of your skateboard. You can use a spreading tool, but I prefer to use my gloved hand as it gives me more control. I take my time to ensure the center body is covered before doing the sloped edges of the board, because it runs off the edges very quickly and you don't want to lose resin before it's covered every part of the board. I always find this to be the most satisfying stage. Resin is self-leveling, so it's all about just making sure the full surface is covered and letting the resin do the rest. Smooth it around the edges with your fingertips to finish. I place 4 things in the corners to rest the cover over the top, but before I do, this is the time to use a blowtorch to remove any bubbles and a toothpick to pick out the dust. Then you can cover it. Within the first 45 minutes of pouring, the resin is still in its malleable form, so you can go over it again once more with a blowtorch, eliminating those bubbles, and a toothpick again to remove any new dust particles. And then cover it to leave it to cure. Curing takes 24 hours. Just before the end of that time, you want to keep an eye on it. When the resin is tacky to the touch, you can remove the masking tape. The thing to avoid is for the resin to be fully cured and the masking tape to be trapped underneath it, because then it will be difficult to remove. Once my 24 hours were up, I could take a proper look. And that's how you use resin to coat your skateboard art.